Welcome to Respawn Aimfire, episode 57. I'm here with my lifelong friend. Say your name.
Sorry, the lifelong friend threw me. Hi, I'm Chad Michaelinas. I forgot we did that. Lifelong
Yeah, it's
friends.
been a while. And I am Holden DePardo.
Also, the way you introduced it sounded like, welcome to Regal Cinemas. Please keep all hands inside the vehicle.
They say that at movie theaters.
They do.
They do.
Regal used to, until 6 months ago when they changed the intro thing.
I don't know if they don't do it at your theater, but the theater here in Rhode Island, they do this thing where to not use your phone, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is obnoxious. They show this guy answering his phone, and he just they freeze frame it just when he's laughing really loudly while he answers the phone, and I'm like, no one does that. That's stupid. And then the other one said, this is illegal. And they show this guy with the hoodie, and he's lifting his phone up to record the screen. He's looking all suspicious, and I'm like, oh, he's got a hoodie on. He's dangerous.
Shoot him for that bag of Skittles.
That's terrible.
Let's offer our thoughts on Trayvon Martin.
Let's not. This is the farthest thing from a political podcast.
Yep.
So, we have a pretty huge episode. There's just tons of news stories. We had a lot of news stories the past 2 weeks.
Did we?
We did, yeah.
I have not been paying attention at all. Holy shit on my dick.
Yeah. I think it's my fault because I got this new news app and I have it feeding me from different sources, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, and that's cool. So when I was setting up the news notes, I deleted a lot of things because I'm like, oh, that's not really important. I was just excited about that in the moment. So, but yeah, there's also the most game potatoes we've ever had in a week because there are some outrageously stupid stories this week.
Jeepatees.
And we were going to talk this week about E3 and kind of what we're looking forward to, or kind of our crazy predictions for E3. We're going to save that for next week's episode because this week, Chad had this brilliant idea of talking about digital curation on online stores like the PSN, like the Xbox's online store.
Like the Pissin, like the Spox, like the shops, and like the Stems.
Before we get to that, though, just a reminder.
Yeah, we're substitute. Google Play.
Chad was expressing these very tired.
And Windows Phone Store. I don't know what that one's called.
I think it's just really Windows Phone Store. Actually, I don't know if they have an app store. They just don't have anything on it. It's an empty store. It's empty. They have 10,000 apps or something like that. It was
the
pathetic.
BlackBerry location.
Okay. We got it. There's stores. But there's also
the BlackBerry
barfing.
Location for apps is
there's also
totally
barfing,
oversaturated.
Chad. There's also barfing.
There's also
our barf. Our backlog accomplishment with Respawn and Friends, which we're going to be doing Metro 2033, which will again be next week. Just a heads up, we are recording early, but we're still going to release it on Tuesday to stick with our normal schedule. So we're going to, if you want to share your thoughts, want to tweet at us or email us at respawnaimfire or respawnaimfire@gmail.com. Please share your thoughts before Saturday so we can include you in the conversation. But we had someone who wanted to jump in the conversation just to ask us a question in general this week.
Hold. I just want to say you did a good job with the intro to this episode.
Oh, thanks, Chad. You're so sweet.
You're welcome.
Oh. It'll never be as good as your intros, though.
Shut the fuck up.
All right. Sorry, master.
Don't you patronize me.
I wasn't patronizing. I was being honest. Because I'm an honest bloke.
Hey, speaking of honest blokes, you know who else is honest? This
Who?
IRL guy, because he's in real life. Fezd.
Yeah.
Tell me about what he said.
Fez said, had a question for the show. Have you guys played/finished Red Dead Last Gen? So Red Dead Redemption, that is. Also, do you believe Red Dead 2 will do half the numbers of GTA 5? There's a lot of hype ahead of this one, since the last one proved itself. Chad, you said you had an answer for me. What do you think?
I do have an answer for you. One, first of all, Red Dead Redemption just got new features for Xbox One X, got enhanced for Xbox One X on backwards compatibility. So if you want to play it before the new one comes out, great new opportunity.
Highly recommended.
2, I have played Red Dead Redemption 3 times.
So you hated it.
I have played let me rephrase that. I've played the first 15 minutes of Red Dead Redemption 3 times.
Okay, so you hated it.
I was just so bored. And it's not the game's fault. I'm sure it opens up and gets beautiful and great.
Well, are you even a fan of GTA, though?
I'm not really a huge GTA fan, but the first mission's go hunt a rabbit or whatever it is. And
there's a lot of missions like that in the beginning. Yeah,
it's just it didn't hook me. I tried it again, and it didn't hook me. So I really want someone to just play the first hour for me and then give me their save file.
I do remember the beginning of the game being a little like Twilight Princess, not quite as long as its opening, where it's like, okay, I want to get to the game now. All right, Can I get to the game? I want to get to the game. But when you do get in there, it is really solid. I never finished it because Not because I didn't like it, because I got so distracted with like the side stuff you can do and exploring and getting bounties and all that. It's a really solid game. I'm more of a fan of Red Dead than I am of GTA.
Gotcha.
Like,
is it like a Fallout where like you can beat it, but the idea is not to beat it?
No, it's like GTA, but in the West instead.
Okay.
It's a cowboy GTA. Like you can, it's a little bit different in the sense though that you can choose what side of the law you want to be on. So like either you can be a bounty hunter and go after bounties in the middle of the desert, or you can be an asshole and have the police or the sheriff come after you.
Is the sheriff also on a horse, or does he have a buggy?
No, he's on a horse.
Oh shit.
He's on a horse. So it's tough to say though that's going to do better than GTA 5. GTA 5, as you said last week, sold 90 million copies. That's like unheard of.
Yeah, the most successful
in
entertainment thing ever.
Yeah, and Red Dead Redemption 1, I think, sold 14 million, which is really good. It's just not GTA numbers. But I think FezD makes a good point. There's a lot of hype around this game, and the first one has really been in the zeitgeist for the past several years since that game came out. I mean, people have been asking for Red Dead Redemption 2 sequel for a while now.
Yeah.
Or Red Dead Redemption sequel for a while now. So I think it'll do really well. I think it'll easily surpass the 14 million that it made before. I think doing half the numbers, 45 million, is a long shot, only because I think that the Western genre, like you kind of said, like yourself, like didn't really appeal to you. Like I didn't like shooting rabbits, that kind of stuff. I think it's more limited than GTA. GTA is much more, it's not, I'm not going to say accessible, but it's more appealing to other people.
Sure. I think as far as sales goes, I think it will not be the best-selling game of this year. That's still going to be Call of Duty. And I think like sales...
It might be Kirby.
You're right. Kirby Star Allies. I think in terms of like lifetime sales, GTA 5 obviously has been out for like almost a decade now. And it's hit 90 million. I think lifetime sales of Red Dead will be probably closer to whatever the best-selling Call of Duty is. Where like it's mega successful for like... GTA 5 is an outlier. But, like, yes, Red Dead will be very, very successful for a video game, but it will not come anywhere near GTA 5.
Yeah, I think the Call of Duty comparison sales is a good one. I think it'll reach those numbers for sure. I think another thing to consider GTA 5 is that it was released on Xbox 360 and PS3, and then a year later it came out on the next-gen consoles. And
don't forget the PC market. It is Fez's question, after all. Although he has a new baby-born
PC is
PS4.
Very important to Fezd. He says he's a console guy now. Maybe I'm misquoting him, but he said he was into consoles now.
Yep.
So I think that dual generation sales also helped out GTA quite a bit.
I'm looking up right
it's
now
do really well.
what the best selling Call of Duty is. Like how many copies you know what the fuck I'm trying to say. Stop
I know
judging
what you're trying to say. They sell super, super well, dude. Super
Why
hot.
are you ranking from worst to best?
Hot.
Show me the best first, you idiot.
Because people want to get to the best ones, so they have to read the whole article. And they're on the page longer, so they get more money for it.
And then I just get there and it tells me what it is, but doesn't tell me how many. Jesus Christ. No one ever go to tomsguide.com.
Go to VG Game Charts with a Z, I think. That's a good source for that.
VG247?
VG Game Charts. Those are just VG Game Charts.
Oh, but Holden, this is so hard.
VG Charts with the Z at the end.
All right, well, why don't you type it in?
I'm already doing it. I'm there. Let's see.
While you do that,
at the site.
That was our only interrogative for this week. And next, we would usually talk about our poll for the week. However, this week's poll was the finishing part of April's photo mode. So congratulations to winner of this month's photo mode at Spooter Scooter on Twitter for his green screen submission of me as a Roblox character. You have won $20 to your gaming service of your choice. We've reached out to you on Twitter. Check your DMs. Let us know what you want. We'll send you a code for that. Everyone, stay tuned in the next, it'll probably be 2 weeks from now when we announce May's photo mode for your chance to win $20. Thank you to Fez IRL and Jerson Aestas. I think I'm remembering that off the top of my head correctly for your submissions as the semifinal. It's a tired day. It's a tired day, you guys.
You are so tired.
My mind is not with my body.
Check it out. Work's tough.
Man.
I have an answer for you. But you're not going to like it.
Oh, about Call of Duty?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I went to VG Game Charts with a Z at the end. And the best-selling one was Call of Duty Black Ops 3 with 15 million units. However, they separate PS4 and Xbox One sales.
So when you combine them, what does it say? Plus PC?
Well, I have to combine them in comparison to every single Call of Duty game that's come out.
Holden, why did you go to that website?
Because that's how I usually use this kind of information.
Well, you fucked
it's not
up.
Helpful here. I fucked up. But it wouldn't surprise me because that's been a very popular one.
But...
But...
Oh, how...
Oh, Chad.
How many units did the most best-selling Call of Duty game sell? Oh, Call of Duty Wikipedia. Fucking great. This is not even that important, you guys. There are better things. Okay, as of February 2016, that's now 2 years old, the Call of Duty series has sold over 250 million copies.
Great. What's the best-selling one?
I don't know. Do you like chocolate milk? I hate chocolate milk.
Chad, why don't you tell me you've been playing this week?
So now it's time for Playtime. Playtime with Chad. Playtime with Chad includes, obviously, our BARF, Metro 2033.
Yes.
I have my thoughts on that. You'll hear them on Tuesday. I also played the Detective Pikachu demo. Remember when I downloaded that in the middle of the episode last time?
I did. I downloaded it, I have it, and I just have had no time to play games this week at all.
I am so glad this demo came out to let me know that I never want to buy this game.
Is it just unbearable, or what is it?
No, it's very much a game for babies.
A baby game?
Very much a baby game.
Oh, baby game. It is Pokemon. No offense to Pokemon fans, but like...
Right. But this is so much more baby. Like, it's cool that you get to see the other side of Pokemon and things like that, but it's... Try to figure out which... There are two monkeys. One went one way, one went the other way. Try to figure out which one went where. And then, like, I can obviously see the clue right on the screen, and I just want to go that direction. And it's like, before you go that direction,
Dora the Explorer, when it's like, where did the...
It is a little bit,
do you see Swiper the Fox?
Yep.
Where's Swiper the Fox?
Yep. Pikachu's like, do you see on the map somewhere where we might be able to find a clue to which one's the red monkey? And then you have to, like, drag a puzzle piece. And even if you know the answer, you have to go through the bullshit, like,
so
detective
basically you're telling me is that
there.
He's a child... like star at this point because he's helping out children solve puzzles, but he still sounds like he's smoking cigars at a strip club.
Yeah.
Am I right? Okay, perfect.
Call of Duty. God damn it, it's just fucking... It's just lifetime sales. I want the best entry.
How about we do this? For next week's episode, we will tell you what the best-selling Call of Duty game is.
You better make a reminder or write it in a note.
I will.
You write it down right now, Holden DePardo.
I will remember.
Guess what else I played this week? I beat Firewatch. I played Firewatch and I beat it. I like that game a lot.
Screenshots.
Yeah. Oh man, so many freaking good screenshots from that game.
You sent me a warning. You're like, hey, Holden, by the way, I'm just gonna send you a lot of pictures.
It's because that's the only like quick way to save them to your phone and use them for social media, as we will be. Send it to you in a PSN message and then save it from the Messages app.
Yep. Next time on my PS4, it's going to be like messages 15 from Chad Merkel Ennis.
Merkin, vagina wig.
Merkin.
There we go.
That's when I think of Chad.
I won't talk about this too much. Sure. Exactly. I won't talk about this too much because apparently, as you said last week, you've already talked about it on the podcast before, even though I don't remember because I don't listen to our podcast. That's a burp. But I enjoyed it a lot. I thought that this is the first game since, like, Flower that I found myself just, like, I sit down with this game to have something relaxing and non-stressful, just the noises of being out in the woods and having a conversation with a person.
Yeah.
Like, I know that kind of sounds like a cry for help, but I promise it's not. Like, but having this just enjoying talking to this person. And
No, I know what you mean, because a lot of games will give you a dialogue wheel, and it's like, all right, what options can I pick to have this conversation be over as soon as possible? And this one, you're like, I want all the conversation.
Yep.
I'm going to do all the options.
I just enjoy it.
You get excited when you find a new option. Yeah, it's good. I need to go back because I was playing it, and then another game came up, and I'm like, oh, I'll go back to Firewatch. I never beat Firewatch, but I played a big chunk of it. Apparently, I was really close to the end. So I don't know how it ends.
Yeah, it's not a long game. It's like 3 hours.
Yeah, it's pretty short. Are you at all concerned playing it that it's not going to be great on Switch?
You know what's weird? They talked about that patch that it's gonna be on Switch. It's gonna run better. I'm playing it on PS4 Pro. I don't think it's optimized for PS4 Pro, so I don't think it has like higher frame rate or anything like that. But I ran into a lot of frame rate dips while playing.
A lot of them. Which is surprising because it's not that intensive of a game.
No.
Like, what could possibly be happening?
I mean, it looks gorgeous, like macro level gorgeous, but then, I mean, you look at some of the textures and things like that up close, or if you really concentrate on one particular thing, you're like, oh, that's not... I mean, it's an ugly looking beer can, or your hand looks like it's from a PS2 game.
It's very cartoony.
Big picture, yeah, it's fucking... What's the name of the artist that
Picasso.
did the art for it? No. I can't remember. Anyway, this well-known
Muhammad
guy...
Ali.
That's Muhammad Ali. Did all the art for Firewatch. No, it's a great game. It's I'm sure
it's
you
a good
can pick it up
story.
on sale for a few bucks. It's a good story. Coming out on Switch soon. Mm-hmm. But apparently there will be a patch that comes to the Xbox and PS4 versions as well that will fix the load times, which I hope also fixes the...
I'll go back and play it. I'm not going to buy it on Switch, but I'll play it again if they patch it up and it looks better.
Your mom.
Yep.
Also, I played my usual PSVR. I played my Sprint Vector a little bit.
Did you find anything new? Any new worlds? Any new VR worlds?
No.
No?
I don't understand. God damn it. Don't understand the question. I won't respond to it.
You're in a virtual world when you're in VR.
No,
any new worlds?
It's virtual reality, not a virtual world.
It's
unless I'm playing the game PSVR Worlds, which I was not.
Well, did you find a new world in
I didn't play that. I played Sprint Vector. Looked like an idiot. My best friend was here while I was playing it, and at first he was like, "Man, I wish you could see what you look like when I play that. When you're playing that game." I was like, "Oh man, does it look crazy?" He's like, "It looks awesome." I was like, "No, I bet it looks stupid." He's like, "Yeah, it looks really fucking stupid." But played that. Played more Wipeout in VR. That shit's fun as hell.
Cool. Oh, that's what I'm adding a game because I forgot a game I played.
Oh, and I played Doom. I got stuck in Doom VR on a spot where it was really, really hard and I kept dying, and then I jumped back into it. Died twice.
You never played like Doom though, like the actual PS4 game. I didn't
play Doom.
You have to play Doom.
I might play Doom if it's a free PlayStation Plus game and I have nothing else to play in the world. I know it's a good game, but it's just like there are so many other things on my list.
But that's the only one on your list you should be playing. The only one.
Well, you buy it for me, and I probably won't play it. Just like Metroid. Although Metroid is now one of 3 games on my list to play.
You should play Metroid. It's really good.
Samus Returns, Bayonetta 2. Although God of War comes out, it is already downloaded on my PlayStation and unlocks in 3.5 hours.
Well, we'll talk about that. Save your excitement. We'll talk about that
before that's over. That's all the shit I played. Holden, tell me about Playtime with Holden this week. What does that mean?
I didn't play a lot this week, actually. I played 2 games, but not a whole lot of them. I played Skyrim, which was purely based off of the fact that I was watching Game of Thrones, and I'm like, I want to play a fantasy game because Game of Thrones is fun fantasy world. So I played some Skyrim, and that game's really fun. It's just not Fallout.
Yeah.
I think that I definitely lean more on the Fallout side of the Bethesda camp. But it's still a fun game. I just play it in kind of quick, sprints, and then I stop playing.
You've never played it before you got on Switch, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So I'm enjoying it, but also to be fair, I enjoyed Fallout a lot more once I'd leveled up to a certain point, and fighting enemies was a giant pain in the ass. Because right now I'll go to a certain castle, and guys will just wreck me. They'll absolutely wreck me. I can wreck. I just keep saying wreck. I can wreck.
Wreck. I'm gonna wreck it.
Wreck it, Ralph. I would go to a place and I could
wreck
just
the internet next.
I could just wipe out guys really fast, and then one mage would come out of nowhere who's like a storm mage, and he's way higher level than everyone else, and he just destroys me instantly. And it's really frustrating. So if I level up, I'll do better. I played another game similar to Wipeout. It's called Fast RMX. If you haven't heard of it, it's basically the Wipeout ripoff on Switch.
I think we've mentioned it quite a few times.
We have. It's the same thing. It just Wipeout on Switch. It's all it is.
Yeah, but it's not in virtual reality.
No, it's not.
Unless you get the Nintendo Labo virtual reality helmet.
We have something to say about Labo this week. We'll get to it. Speaking of getting to it, we actually have our quest log. Let's go through our quest log right now.
Whoa, Holden, let's open up our quest log and see what the internet has provided us. Vaudeville, oh, la, la, la.
We're going to start with our fetch quest. Chad, you want to start us off?
Fetch quests. So, Holden, you want to start us off? Surge DLC. I don't know anything about it.
Surge has some new DLC. It is called the Cutting Edge DLC pack, and it's a free pack that just includes some new weapons and armor. One of them that is interesting to me, I can't pronounce the name of the armor, but there's an armor in there that is health regenerating. So it'll just regenerate your health for you. I'm like, that seems like a massive cheat for the game, but I want to get that one. That
depends
sounds like
on
fun.
how quickly the health regenerates.
Good point. That's a good point. But still.
Because often in that game, it's like, you're alive and then you're dead. So it doesn't matter if your health regenerates. You still never beat that game, did you?
No, I haven't.
You stupid
I need
idiot.
to. Speaking of Souls-like games, actually we have 2 Souls games in our fetch quest this week.
Oh, one is no.
Dark Souls for Switch was delayed. Only the Switch version.
Just to the summer.
Yep.
Whatever that means.
Apparently there's talk of September, but there's nothing really firm saying that, so you didn't hear that here. But it got delayed.
Nobody narc on us.
No narc on us, yeah. I'm still gonna get it on Switch. I'm gonna wait for it.
Yeah, I think if I get it, I'm gonna get it on Switch.
It's not a game that's gonna look so much better on PS4 and Xbox One. It's still going to look like Dark Souls.
Right. They'll have 4K textures, but nobody gives a shit if you're playing on a baby screen. And also, everyone else is going to have it on Switch, and I need help on bosses, so...
That's a good point.
Yep.
There's also this game coming out. It's a Souls-like. It's called Sinner's Sacrifice for Redemption, and it is coming to Switch this year. It's an indie game, and it looks kind of cool. I still don't...
Sacrifice for Redemption. Never heard of it.
Yeah, I hadn't either, but it looks pretty cool. It is essentially a Souls-like game, but... when you go to fight bosses, you have to give up an attribute that you use to fight the boss. You kind of limit yourself when you go to fight bosses. And based on which one you decide to remove, it changes the difficulty of that boss. Interesting concept, but we'll see.
Did you ever play Soul Sacrifice on PS Vita?
No, I didn't. I knew about it, but never played it.
I think I played it for like 10 minutes. I don't remember liking it. I don't remember anything about it other than there were like red circles.
Red circles?
Good game, man. Good game.
I remember when people heard Soul Sacrifice, like, oh, Dark Souls is coming to Vita, and that was absolutely not the case at all. That was pretty funny. What do you got for me, Chad?
Why have I never heard of like 60% of these fetch quests?
Because I added a lot of
them. What news are you
them.
reading? Where are you finding these? Well, here, since they're fetch quests, I'll just read some of the titles. NBA Playgrounds 2 is announced. So if you want to pay for more haircuts, you can do it again. No Man's Sky release date is possibly leaked for Xbox One, and that's September? Question mark?
June 29th.
Same thing. June 29th.
Same thing. It's going to be
AKA
50 euros.
September.
AKA $50.
$50? We talked about this before, but that's still too much for that game.
There's a lot more content now. There's a whole story mode.
Yeah, but PlayStation has it for free.
PlayStation just have it for free?
No, but you can buy the game for like $10, I'm sure, and then get all that content. It's free content, and none of it was like paid DLC, right?
Yeah, but it's also a new game on Xbox, so they don't have that option. They don't have that option, Chad.
Guess what else happened?
What happened, Chad?
What Remains of Edith Finch wins BAFTA Game of the Year.
It did.
That's so cool.
I actually highlighted some more of those wins for other categories.
I did not understand what you just said. Will you say it again?
I highlighted some more of the other wins.
Highlighted some more of the other wins. Okay.
Yes.
I heard I highlighted some more the wins. Like, all right.
Hellblade absolutely killed it. They got more awards than anyone else by quite a bit. So good for Hellblade. They got Artistic Achievement. They got Audio Achievement. They got the Best British Game, which that's a strange category to me, but okay. And then there's also the Best Performer for Melina Jurgens. Or is it Jurgens? Maybe Jurgens.
Probably Jurgens.
Jurgens. Bürgermeister Meisterburger. And then the other awards, game design went to Super Mario Odyssey, game innovation went to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and our best original property went to your favorite game, Chad.
Horizon Zero Dawn?
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Last of Us?
Best original game, Last
Something
of
to
Us.
be said about the BAFTAs is, like the Oscars tend to favor American movies, the BAFTAs do tend to favor British stuff, and that's on purpose. But I still think it's really, really cool to highlight What Remains of Edith Finch, because that was a fantastic game. And also, if you have it, Giant Sparrow, who made What Remains of Edith Finch, also made Unfinished Swan. And there's kind of like a freak-out, really cool, mind-blowing Easter egg in Edith Finch if you've played Unfinished Swan. So play that first if you can.
I have Edith Finch now. I'm going to play it at some point because I really want to. I've heard it's excellent.
Unfinished Swan was also, I think, a PSN free game for Plus, so you should have
it
that
was,
too.
but I missed it.
Oh, you stupid!
Yep, I missed it.
Holden stupid to stupido. Cool.
Speaking of stupid, Don't Starve. Have you heard of this game, Don't Starve?
Yeah, I've played it before. It's boring.
Well, they had they had a physical release that they sent out that had the game, the DLC for it, and then the kind of multiplayer pack, which was called Don't Starve Together.
Uh-huh.
And the game shipped without the game and the DLC, just the multiplayer pack.
Oh, no. How does that happen?
So they're trying to figure that out. They've been very open about it. They said something happened. It seems that the disc for PS4 version only contains Don't Starve Together without the original Don't Starve and DLC. We don't know exactly the extent of the issue, if it's all the discs or just some. So they're trying to figure out what's going on.
Oh, my God. I think when that game came out, when it launched from that was like one of the first PS4 games that was out, and when they were hardcore pushing the indies. And they announced it. It used to be a PC thing, and then they're like, Don't Starve Together is the new thing. It's going to launch on PS4. And so it launched as Don't Starve Together, which had the multiplayer aspect to it. So that was new when it launched. And I don't know if they just like got that confused. Like, oh, yeah, PS4, that was the Together launch. Let's put that on the disc. And
yeah, that was like, 4 years ago.
Man.
5 years ago. Yeah, that's really embarrassing. It's not one of our Game Potato stories, because those stories are even more embarrassing.
Dumb. More fetch quests. Let's rattle these off. Number 100. Crystal Dynamics head joins Microsoft Studios. So Crystal Dynamics, developer of Square Enix. Yep. Not developer of Square Enix.
The developer of Square Enix.
Published
that
by
game
Square
is
Enix.
massive. There's so many stories at Square Enix.
Crystal Dynamics is currently also working on an Avengers game, I believe.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yes.
That could be interesting. Maybe.
Yes.
Could be bad. Who knows?
They're working on some... It's either Avengers... It's a Marvel property. It's either Avengers or Guardians. I think it's Avengers.
I'd prefer a Guardians game, actually. That sounds like more fun.
There is also a Guardians game in the works, but I can't remember.
Not a Telltale one, though, but a real Guardians game.
There is a real Guardians game in the works.
Cool. I'm on board with that.
Also, speaking of Avengers, Anthem, you kind of fly around like Iron Man. Anthem development is focused on story. BioWare decided, you know what? We realized we made some mistakes with Mass Effect Andromeda, and we
by
didn't
not having a story.
By not having a story.
They had a story, but it wasn't great.
And we realized we should probably focus more on that. Also, they'll have a leg up on Destiny. So that's pretty cool.
Speaking of Destiny 2 has a new expansion coming May 8th.
Great. No one's going to play it.
Is it the user base dropped off that much?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't heard anyone saying they're playing it because everyone's playing Fortnite or PUBG now. Mostly Fortnite.
Yeah.
New expansion coming. I never finished the other one, and I kept saying, man, I should go back to this. You know what? I'll wait for Destiny 3.
Wow. Boom.
I had a great time with Destiny 2. It's just like, okay.
I think there are certain players that can play a game forever, and there's some players who want something else.
Right.
And we are in that latter category.
I also just want people to play with. Holden, have the same exact work schedule as me, and then also buy the same games I do.
What are you talking about? We've been playing A Way Out all the time.
Oh, yeah. How have we played that and not mentioned it in the last 3 weeks? Hey, Playtime with both of us. We played A Way Out a little bit.
I think it's what we need to talk about when we finished it. It's a story. We need to talk about the whole story.
Okay, your mom.
I remember what happened. We'll figure it out.
Sony shutting down Mod Nation Racers and Little Big Planet karting servers. Are these the console or the Vita or both?
So that's an interesting point to ask. They've only mentioned console versions. They don't mention the Vita versions.
I want to say the Mod Nation Vita server. I don't know. Mod Nation Vita didn't have multiplayer? I think
I don't remember. I had it on Vita. I
too.
liked that game a lot. That was a good game.
I think that was like, I can't believe this game shipped without multiplayer kind of thing.
I can see that happening. There was weird things with that in the Vita, with the kind of bigger titles. While you're looking it up, though, too, do you know what's another game that's scheduled to have its server shut down?
What?
Which I think is strange, because this game is pretty new. Is Gravity Rush 2.
Oh, yeah.
Came out last year, I think.
It came out January of last year?
That sounds about right.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They were actually scheduled to shut down their servers, and everyone was like, wait, no! And like, you know what? We heard you. We'll give you a few extra months. And now it's coming around again.
That's right. And people are going to be like, wait, no! And then they're going to be like, no, fuck you guys. We're not doing this
Sony, there is no head-to-head online other than ad hoc.
So then what server are they shutting down for the Vita one? So clearly it's not shutting down a Vita server, because there is none.
Right.
They shut it down at launch.
Shut it down.
We got 2 more fetch quests, I believe, here.
3 more. 3. Tres amigos.
3 more.
3 caballeros.
Want to run us through some of those?
Yes, I do. Hi. Castlevania Grimoire of Souls, coming to iOS. If you like collecting Grimoire cards in Destiny 1 and reading them on the internet, you can do that in the Castlevania now. Just kidding. I don't know anything about this fucking thing.
It's coming to Japan only, and no one knows anything about it.
Great. Excellent.
It's going to be great.
Fetch quest. Number 2. Nintendo multi-screen patent. DSS.
Yeah. So this is interesting. They might not do anything with it, but the idea is that you will have 2 screens. Imagine the Switch without the Joy-Cons on it. 2 screens, and you put them close together, they can respond to each other. So you might do something where you have a ball on one of the screens, you tilt the screen up, and it rolls down onto the other screen. Like little kind of things like that. Interesting, bizarre. People keep saying, oh, this is for Nintendo's new handheld. And I'm like, no, because handheld's the personal experience that you buy one of. Switch is the shared experience. So this is going to come to anything that's going to come to a Switch, but I don't see that happening because Switch doesn't really have Bluetooth. It does,
also,
but like,
wouldn't it just
really.
be great if their next like handheld console was just a collection of 6 screens that you had to juggle at any time and like throw shit on while you're on the bus? That sounds wonderful.
It'd be awesome. It'd be really, really fun. I can't wait. So it's
and
a strange
then
patent.
finally,
Nothing might happen to
Hellblade
it.
sells 50,000 on Xbox One. Good. Keep going, guys, because that game is fantastic. And they donated 25,000 to charity. 25,000 games or dollars?
$20,000.
Okay. Did they sell $50,000 or games?
They sold $50,000. They made $50,000. Yeah.
They made $50,000. So they did not sell 50,000 copies?
They sold 50,000 units, and then they donated $25,000. So basically 50 cents per game went towards charity.
You need to add in some currency
Signs?
Markers on this so I can tell the difference.
Sorry, Chad.
There
he goes.
Holden, tell us
Changed.
about
Are
the
you happy?
stupid shit about
I
game
think this
potatoes, the G petites.
I love these game potatoes. They're so stupid. First off, this is an article from The Verge. The headline was, Xbox One's the best console if you don't care about exclusive games. And then the whole thing just talked about backwards compatibility and why that makes it the best console ever. It's really stupid.
I mean, it is a pretty sweet feature, but still.
It doesn't make a console... It doesn't make it better than the PS4. It just doesn't. I think there's other things you could have talked about. The new Kingdom Hearts trailer made it to Game Potatoes this week. Did you watch it, Chad?
I didn't, but I read a headline that said it has like some kind of mini game. That's all.
Yeah, the mini game is literally like a Game & Watch.
Oh, great!
Mini game.
That's exactly what I want for my game now.
Yeah, so like I just think this is the most anticipated game. You have so much to say. It's coming out this year, and you're like, by the way, guys, a new trailer, Game & Watch mini game. That'd be like saying, guys, Ocarina of Time is coming out. Don't get too excited. Here's a shooting your arrows at targets mini game.
Link's crossbow challenge.
Yeah, like why do they think that'd be a good trailer? It's just really strange. This is just a stupid, of course, story. Japan's more excited for Labo than God of War.
Duh.
Well, yeah, like Labo has Japanese written all over it. It's super made for that market.
Yep.
And God of War is a more Western style game. Like, how is that surprising to anybody?
Yep.
Saving the best one for last, but Nintendo researching new console hardware. Again, duh. Every company, when they ship a console, immediately starts research and development on the next console. It's not like, hey guys, do we release a console next year? We should start working on that, do you think, right? It's not how it works. They're always working on something.
Guys,
always.
we released the Switch. We did it. That's the best thing that we'll ever be.
Yeah,
I guess
that's
we just
it.
won't ever sell anything ever again.
It's over.
Great.
And the last one here, this is the direct quote from the article. Rampage, the movie, might actually be critically acclaimed. and the article highlights its 51% Rotten Tomatoes rating. I'm like, I don't think they know what critically acclaimed means.
Acclaimed.
Like, it's only 2 points better than Tomb Raider, which got a 49%. And to be clear, I liked Tomb Raider. I didn't think it was that bad.
Did you like Rampage?
I didn't see Rampage.
Because everybody's saying it's terrible.
Oh, I don't doubt it. But, like, 51% is not critically acclaimed. They kept saying, well, the majority of critics. It's like, if I got a 51% of my test, I'm going to be saying, well, I got a majority of the questions right.
Oh, my God.
It doesn't work like that. It's stupid. A lot of game potatoes this week.
Stupid. You know what else
we
is
get
a
some real
stupid movie?
stories.
Pete's
What?
Dragon, the new one. Fuck that movie. It's a movie for babies.
I haven't seen it. But I'll take you at your word.
Oh, let's get to our reg quests. Reg quests.
We got some big stories to talk about here.
Do we? Hold on. I'm gonna look through these real quick with my eyeballs, and then I'm gonna
Your
decide
eyeballs?
which one I want to mention right now because you went through all the G petites, and I
Yeah.
want to talk. Oh, okay. Here we go. Rumored new Bioshock game at 2K.
Yeah.
This one comes from Jason Schreier at Kotaku.
He does great stuff.
He does such good stuff. Good research. Speaking of research, he was looking into what went wrong with Mafia 3.
Yeah.
Like looking into the developer. Really great article on Kotaku. Go read it. About what went wrong. But right next to Mafia 3 developer... What is the name of the developer of Mafia 3?
2K something.
God damn it. The developer, blah, blah, blah. There's a new 2K super secret office that is working on a new Bioshock game.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't say it's rumored to be. He said they're working on a new super secret Bioshock game.
Yeah. It's really secret. That's why it's all over the news right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I tell
13.
you, I'm all about that shit. I'm going to play number 2. I'm going to play Infinite. I'm all about that shit. I actually, I never got to play most of the DLC with all the Bioshock games. So I'm gonna go back and play it. I said that right now, and we'll see if it happens.
It won't. Actually, I want to play I played the first one for a... Barf. And I have 2 and Infinite to play still.
I thought you started 2.
I did start 2, but I never beat it.
Nice.
It's very common with me. I do that a lot. The developer of Mafia 3 was Hangar 13.
Hangar 13. Yes.
I'm on board with the new Bioshock game. My question is, does it take place in Rapture or Columbia? Is Columbia the new?
Columbia's the floating city, yep. Or something completely new. Well, as long as there's spoilers, I'm not going to say it. All right. Hey, something else
I know
happened.
how Bioshock Infinite ends, so you wouldn't be a spoiler to me if you're
No,
about
I'm
that.
for the community.
Oh, for the community? Okay.
For the
It's been an
community.
old game. At this point, you
Yeah,
can talk about it.
but your mom. So,
All right.
Hey, question. Battle Royale modes for major franchises rumored?
There are
One, Call of
subsections.
Duty Black Ops 4
Yeah.
has been, first of all, the rumor is it won't include single player at all this time.
Yeah.
It's
A
going to be-
campaign, that means, yeah.
Right. And there's actually, there was a tweet that this is referencing, right?
I have the
Call
news
of Duty.
story.
Oh,
Yeah.
let me open up that news story. The shift will be a creative direction that will make Black Ops 4 the first mainline Call of Duty to ship without a standard campaign. When reached for comment, an Activision spokesperson said, quote, "We don't comment on..." Oh, shut up. Black Ops 4 reveal on May 17th. There was something. Oh, well. Who cares?
think
The
I have
tagline
that.
for Black Ops 4 is, quote, "Forget what you know," which
Yes.
speaks to the series. Yeah. That came from Polygon. So that's kind of interesting that, hey, the part of these stories that most game outlets care about isn't going to exist anymore, but then the casual game, it's weird to call that a casual gamer.
It's
There's the casual gamer,
It's like a semi-
there's the hardcore gamer, and then there's the Madden and Call of Duty gamer.
it's like a medium core gamer. They're
That
really
core is
into
so lukewarm.
It's a lukewarm core.
There's the blue ocean, there's the tiny puddle, and then there's that hot pond.
One of the most we're going to have too is a Battle Royale mode, apparently, which is not surprising. I actually think this would be kind of cool, right? Battle Royale games work with the shrinking of the map, right? Imagine if you had Battle Royale, but you're also fighting the zombies at the same time. And the zombies kind of dictates where you can't really go anymore. Because it's 2 of our zombies, we got to go towards the safe zone.
But you've guns, and you can
There's
shoot
too many
the
zombies. Have you played Call of Duty Zombies before? It's actually
I actually
really
have not. No.
It can get pretty hard when there's just a few of them around. I'm also bad at first-person shooters. So someone would be like, a few, you're a pansy. I am a pansy. But like, that could be...
You're not a pansy.
I'm a pansy.
You're de-pantsed.
Ah.
And then tell me about this DICE. I didn't know about this one. Battlefield 5?
Yeah, so they're testing...
It makes sense.
They are testing Battlefield 5 for... testing Battle Royale for Battlefield 5. However, I don't think it's going to make launch. It might be added as a free update later on. They might turn it into a new game. They might push to the next Battlefield game. They don't know, but it is being worked on.
A Battle Royale mode for Battlefield 5.
Again, it makes sense.
Hope you guys like your Battle Royales, y'all.
Well, it makes sense. Why would these huge franchises not include a Battle Royale mode?
Right.
If that's where people want to play multiplayer games, is in that mode, they're the biggest multiplayer online games. Like, they have to do it. They don't have a choice.
It's about time. I mean, Deathmatch and Team Deathmatch have been around for ages now. It's about time that something new came around, and then everybody's going to jump on it.
Totally. Jump on it.
Bow, 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 bow. There's some Sea of Thieves new content coming next month, which includes a new AI threat in the ocean.
Yes.
Not enough.
This update does not... No, yeah, let me pull that up, actually, because I didn't get the impression that any of this was going to convince anyone to play more of this game.
No.
I highlighted some of the stuff. It is... It'd be the Hungering Deep. And it's going to update with weekly events, new mechanics, and rewards. That's what they're saying it is.
Great.
It's not mechanics. It's not rewards is the issue. It's the what you're actually doing.
Yep.
As like a... what do they call it? Emergent gameplay opportunities. Like, that's what's missing. It's a real shame.
It's a crying shame. Speaking of crying, tell me about Billy Mitchell losing his records.
Yeah, do you know who Billy Mitchell is? He's not a very well-known figure, I would say.
He is the Donkey Kong holder, record holder for Donkey Kong. He did the donkeys, the Kong
He
Man.
did the Donkey Kongs. Yeah, so he has the record for the arcade cabinet of Donkey Kong. And he's held it for a very long time. But there's been... Actually, it's funny, I saw this video a few months ago. And the video is basically showing that the video recording of him playing Donkey Kong for the record shows he's not using an actual arcade cabinet. He's using something called MAME. M-A-M-E. Basically, it's an emulator.
Remember my name, MAME. That's from Fame.
Yep, exactly what we were talking about. And you got me off track now. Oh, yeah, and so basically, when the game refreshes, you can tell how, if it's a real arcade cabinet or if it's MAME, based on how elements load into the game on screen. And the video is totally clear that it is using MAME and not the actual arcade cabinet. There's even a video of his guys, and I've seen the video myself, of his guys going behind the arcade cabinet and replacing the hardware. So, like, really shady, but Billy Mitchell made a statement on this, and he basically said, "We're going to prove that it is not the case that I was cheating, and that the methods being used to play the game were legal at the time I broke the records." So, very interesting.
All right,
for people who follow that kind of stuff.
You do you, man.
I do me.
That's so crazy that, like, what is it, 35, 40 years later?
Yeah.
That's
long time.
Being brought into contention.
There's a whole documentary about him that came out 13 years ago called King of Kong. It's really good. You guys should watch it.
Hey, speaking of things being brought into contention much, much later, you like history.
I do like history.
George Washington was not the first president, but he was the first one under the new Constitution, yeah?
Oh, I haven't heard that before.
No? Somebody brought that up in a class in college once, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. He wasn't the first president of the United States, but he was the first one under the Constitution.
I know that he wasn't the first president in the White House. John Adams is the first president in the White House.
Yeah. That might be a lie, so don't put that on a test if you're listening and you have a history test. I just brought it up and hoped Holden knew it.
That'd be really funny. Like, actually, George Washington was not the first president. Source, Respawning Fire podcast. It's a secondary historical document, the Respawn Aim Fire podcast.
Oh, Holden, did you know A Way Out? Speaking of A Way Out, because we mentioned that a little bit ago, it's selling really well. And in fact, it is. Yeah. It is selling a lot more than EA had initially ever thought it would in its whole lifetime sales. And it did that in, like, what, a week, 2 weeks?
Yeah, it did.
It has officially sold over 1 million copies, which means over 2 million people have played it.
Yep.
because it requires you to play multiplayer.
Some of those people could have bought each themselves, but I don't think that happened a whole lot.
No, I doubt it.
I also think that's why it sold so well. If both people had to buy the game, this game would have tanked.
Yeah.
So I think that really helped them out.
Yep. That's really cool. So they had mentioned, I forget, did they actually have numbers in this story of like what they thought it would sell?
Yes.
Tell me.
It was like 850,000 or something like that.
The lifetime sales.
The lifetime
That's what they
sales,
thought it would reach. Yeah.
Yes.
And they thought in its first week it would be like, just over 200,000 or something like that?
But
yeah, it sold over 1 million in the first couple of weeks.
203,000, and then the playtime was actually 894,000. I fucked that up because the Respawning Fire podcast is not a reliable history secondary source.
George Washington sold 800,000 ways out of prison for the new Constitution of America.
Fact. That sounds like a fact to me.
That does. Factual information.
We'll share our thoughts on the game at a later date, but we are playing it right now when we have time to kind of both play at the same time. But it almost would have been an Xbox exclusive, which means we couldn't have played it together.
Whoa! But you know what we could have played together?
What?
I don't know. What's the third thing? Wants to make a love scene? I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah, so this guy, the creator of the game, is insane.
This is the fuck the Oscars guy.
This is the fuck the Oscars guy. He basically said that why hasn't there been a really good love scene in a game? Not one that you like hit X or Y for, but one that you really, to quote him, let me find the quote. It's hysterical. Where was it?
This guy's a lot of it insane.
He's a lot of it insane.
He's freaking crazy.
Okay, I think you can actually make gameplay into a beautiful love scene and actually play it and control it. That would be my dream to reach at some point. As far as what's most important when it comes to gameplay, Ferris believes it's more vital to ensure that what the player is doing fits the context of what's happening on screen. It's simply making it fun to play. I rarely ask, is this fun? It's more like I ask, does this game fit the scene? So he wants you to, because it fits the scene, to have this romantic scene where you're deciding what you're doing during the love scene, essentially.
So he just wants interactive porn.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why this hasn't happened, because that's an AO game. Adults only. Like, that's why it hasn't happened.
Slowly lick my tongue up her thigh.
The absolute backlash for the Mass Effect sex scene when it first came out? And it was nothing. It was nothing.
Yep.
So can you imagine if, like, our children are deciding to grab the pussies just like our President Donald Trump? Like, it would be a disaster. That game would do terribly.
Yeah.
And PlayStation never signed for it. Xbox would never sign for it. Nintendo definitely wouldn't allow it on their console. Can you imagine using the Joy-Cons, the HD rumbles for some interactive?
Oh, that HD rumble, yes.
So crazy stuff.
Here's some interesting stuff
here, Chad.
Hey, Sega, coming out with some new shit. Number one, they announced Shenmue 1 and 2 are getting a remaster re-release.
No, just a re-release.
PS4,
it's not a remaster.
No Switch, right?
No Switch, but it's not a remaster. It's just a re-release.
Oh, just re-release. Nothing changed about it?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think they said on PC you'll have options to run it better, but it's not like they've updated the textures or the resolution or anything like that. It is just the game.
Cool.
Very
they
fun
also
stuff.
announced a Mega Drive Mini, similar to the SNES Classic and the NES Classic consoles, but only for Japan so far. No mention on the West. Mm-hmm. For all of those, Mega Drive games that you want to play. But apparently, it won't only include those, right? It might also include Genesis games, and it'll technically be no. I think I'm lying.
I don't know, honestly.
No, you know what? Mega Drive Mini. I remember this specifically. They didn't announce any games about it so far.
They did announce games for Sega Ages.
Whoa! Did you know that's a palindrome?
It is, yeah. That's very cool. I didn't even notice that.
That makes me think in my head, did Sega name itself Sega because it's ages backwards?
I don't know, maybe. Sega. Which wouldn't really work
because
Sega does what Nintendo don't, and Nintendo is still living on in the ages. But not
Did
Sega.
You know the Genesis cartridge of Sonic the Hedgehog, when the intro, just the logo Sega, Sonic running across and goes, Sega, that audio file, that intro took up 1/8 of the cartridge.
That's a great design decision.
Sega. Yep.
Great design decision. They could have used that for like new levels or anything, but no.
But everybody knows that. Sega. Well, actually, probably nobody knows that anymore.
Sega Ages is going to include 15 total games that are going to be coming to the Switch. They've only announced 3 of them, and those 3 games are Sonic the Hedgehog, Phantasy Star, and Thunder Force 4. Have you heard of Thunder Force 4 before?
No, but I guarantee you it does not have 3 prequels. It is the first in the series, but they wanted to, sequels sell better, so.
Yeah, is that the Mad TV sketch?
I don't know.
There's a Mad TV sketch where it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger's talking about his new movie called Clones 3, and they don't have Clones 1 or 2 because sequels make so much more money.
Yep, there you go.
Great.
That's awesome, though.
Sketch.
I like the fact that they're coming to Switch. I hope that since it's like this curated collection that they are some kind of, I don't want to say maybe remaster, or like there's something special about the Switch version of them, and it's not just like throwing a ROM on the Switch.
I think they're throwing a ROM on the Switch. I actually wonder how much this has to do with the fact that we haven't seen a virtual console yet. Because they could have waited for virtual console and then had these released that way. I think they've released Sega games on virtual console before.
They have.
And I know it's not just been Nintendo games.
It's definitely been like Neo Geo, I think.
Yeah, Neo Geo for sure, yeah. It's very, very strange. And also, Sega and Nintendo have a much stronger relationship nowadays than they did back in the 90s and early 80s, late 90s, late 80s, early 90s, when they were in competition with one another. I do want to say that it's very strange to me that they announced the day before all this stuff came out that they have huge new announcements coming. And this is what they talked about. Like, Sega Ages is the only one that I'm like, okay, that's cool. But I'm also not a Sega fan.
I mean, people love Shenmue, I guess.
Before. They do. They love Shenmue. It's a very popular game. All right, we got 2 more stories, kind of.
Tell me what Andy House said.
Yeah. So the former PlayStation boss, Andrew House, he just had a few things to say about the PlayStation 4 that I thought was, or PlayStation 5 I thought was interesting. Quotes here: he did believe the PlayStation 4 had a lot longer to go. So he doesn't think it's going to be like next year or anything like that. However, believing the market could grow larger in other regions like China, and that there is a desire among hardware manufacturers for cycles to be longer. He basically said that the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X were kind of what helped accomplish the longer cycle this time around. He also talked about cloud gaming. He says while he does think cloud-based gaming will be a major part of the next generation, consoles will still ship with discs as the primary method of content delivery, simply because not every region would support a digital-only future. Says, my sense is that you will see the disc around in the industry for a while. So
I hate discs.
I do too. But you don't have to use the disc drive if you don't want to at this point.
The dick drive.
And Chad, let's do your favorite stories. I know you were looking forward to talking about this one.
Oh, yes. God of War, y'all. It is the highest rated PS4 exclusive first party game. Higher than Horizon Zero Dawn. It is currently tied with The Last of Us with a Metacritic rating of 95. However, it has like 20 more reviews, which technically counts as higher.
89 for God of War, 69 for The Last of Us.
I am fucking stoked. It is now less than 3 hours until that thing unlocks on my PlayStation 4, and I can jump on into that big-ass world.
I heard they're releasing this game in April because it's a giant April Fool's joke, and there is no new God of War game.
Dude, and then everyone's going to be stoned on 420, so they're not even going to realize they got freaking swindled.
Exactly. So I'll be laughing at you. No, actually, I am convinced I'm going to buy this game. In the summer, when I have a break from school, I'm going to buy God of War. The praise has convinced me. It doesn't sound like it's going to be just another God of War game.
Yes.
So I don't think we've talked about this in the podcast, but I was not sold on this game up until now. I actually had some very big concerns. I don't think I ever brought up on the podcast before.
I think you did.
So, did I?
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, this game looks fucking great, and people are saying it's great. And don't listen to anyone's reviews, apparently, and don't read any reviews, and don't watch any playthroughs, because you're going to spoil the shit out of it for yourself.
I have heard from people who have played the game that the IGN review is pretty tame in terms of spoilers.
Yeah, but just go into it blind. Discover that shit for yourself.
One of my favorite parts of this God of War thing, and this is one of my favorite things that happens when this occurs, is when... And this is the thing I see a lot from Phil Spencer, is tweeting out, hey guys, the tweet is, congrats to Sony Santa Monica on the review scores, upcoming launch of God of War. Looks like a special launch for the franchise. Great job. He does this a lot.
Yep.
He seems like a really swell guy. He doesn't buy into the whole console wars nonsense. Maybe because he's losing. But I also think that's because
I'm sure that has a little
good
to do
guy.
with it.
But I think he's a legitimate person in that sense. That he just likes games, and games doing well is good.
I'm a Phil Spencer fan, most.
I am too. Absolutely. He's a cool guy. Wish him the best. Still probably won't buy an Xbox, though.
Holden, that brings us to our main quest for tonight.
Yes.
Today, tonight, this morning, tomorrow, yesterday. We're talking about digital storefronts. That's your PlayStation Store. That's your Xbox Store. That's your Nintendo eShop, Steam, iOS, BlackBerry. We talked about it all at the beginning. And how do we find good shit in them? And how do those stores go about curating them? And the conversation we'll get to something I actually discovered on PlayStation. But fuck, you have to dig for it. Something's been around. It's nothing new. Something's been around since iOS kind of launched the App Store. Is this oversaturation of digital goods, whether it's games, apps, whatever it is that you're trying to download. There are so many things to parse through that it's now impossible to find what's good. So how do we, in this new day and age, kind of find all the shit, let the cream rise to the top? How do we find that?
Is the answer digital curation?
Oh my god, it's digital curation. Or, like, you could also rely on people like us talking about Celeste or the rest of the world talking about Celeste. So you can rely on those news sources, YouTube gamers, things like that. But a big thing that I think the companies could take a little bit more responsibility in doing, and the App Store started doing this with their little Today view on iOS, and PlayStation has started doing it, looks like, as well, is a little bit more curation on their end. And making it a little easier to highlight things that it thinks people should be playing. So what I really just wanted to point out and just kind of look at and discuss these little curated things is on the PlayStation Store. You have to fucking dig to find this. And I just happened to come across it because I scrolled way to the bottom of a page on my phone. There's a spot on the desktop version and on the iPad version. It doesn't even live in the same spot as it does on the phone version, which is one hurdle. But it's a spot where it kind of calls out a bunch of different types of collections of cool shit you should play on your PlayStation 4. And they've been doing a couple of things for a few months now, like developers and finding out who, like, this is somebody from Sony Santa Monica, and this is all the things I think you should play this week. But if you're looking at your desktop or your iPad, there's a little Discover tab at the very top that you probably wouldn't even notice is there. And then almost at the bottom of that list is called Discover
Did you
the
insult
Creators.
our audience, Chad?
Holden DePardo.
You probably wouldn't notice it.
I just know they are all a direct reflection of me because you listen to what you are.
But you did
Discover the creatives
find it.
and discover the must-haves are the two
Give me
things.
a hard time, guys.
Hard. You
Chad
said
loves
hard.
all. Chad loves everyone.
Discover the creatives is what we just mentioned, where it kind of says, hey, I'm this person from this studio. This is what I think you should play. But the Discover the must-haves has some cool little spots in it, and I wanted to talk about it. First, I don't know how long this has been up here. First, because it's fucking hidden. But they have things as the 20 best PS4 games. This is what PlayStation thinks the 20 best PS4 games. Are you ready to go through this list, Holden DePardo?
I am, but I think I'm more skeptical with the stuff than you are.
Okay.
So I think we're going to disagree in some respect. Not in all respects.
That's what this is all about. Like,
no, it's all about me being right and you being wrong.
So they have in here, let's talk about these first 5. Horizon Zero Dawn, Destiny 2, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, What Remains of Edith Finch, Stardew Valley.
Those games are all trash.
What do you think of those?
No, those are great options. I think Destiny, the top 5, I think Destiny 2 is an odd one to put in there.
I kind of agree with you. Like, I can understand picking, all right, we want to pick a game as service to go in here.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe people
it
tend to like
belongs in the top
better,
20, I would say. It belongs in the top 20.
Oh, I don't think these are ranked in any particular order.
Oh, okay.
This is just 20 games they think you should buy.
Gotcha, okay.
Because, yeah, I don't think Stardew Valley would rank higher than The Last of Us.
I mean, the story of Stardew Valley had me in tears by the end.
Shut up.
No, so... No, I think the only one I'm kind of a little bit indifferent about being on that list is Destiny 2. But I think it's because I'm not a big fan of that kind of game to begin with, so I'm kind of putting my own personal bias in that one. But like Stardew Valley is a unique game for the PlayStation. There's not really anything like Stardew Valley on there. It's going to appeal to people who might not even play video games, really. I mean,
Yeah,
how
that's
could
a really
you not?
great like casual game, like Harvest Moon kind of stuff. To
Yeah,
get into.
exactly. How could you not put Horizon Zero Dawn? Like, my bias of that game aside, because I'm not a huge fan of that game myself, that game is massive and incredible and is hugely, like, widely acclaimed among so many people. That game is obviously on that list.
Yep.
What are the other ones? Edith Finch and...
Edith Finch, which obviously just won Game of the Year, and Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which
Hellblade
absolutely...
absolutely deserves to be on there. Again, a
hell
game
yeah,
that...
Hellblade.
Well, yeah, Hellblade deserves to be on there just because it's such a... It takes gaming in a direction that we haven't seen before. What are the other 15, though? I'm curious what the other 15
Here we
are.
go. So, it's weird. It says the top 20 games, but there are actually 22 on this list. Danganronpa 1 and 2. Reload. It's one game, but it has...
I don't even know what that is.
It's like a visual novel type thing about a murder mystery at a high school.
Okay.
The Last of Us Remastered.
Garbage.
Uncharted 4, A Thief's
Trash.
End. Grand Theft Auto 5.
Never
and
heard
Witcher
of it.
3, Wild Hunt. Those are the next 5.
I mean, of course, Last of Us. Of course, Uncharted's on there. I want to pull the same thing I pulled with The Witcher, The Witcher that I pulled with Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't personally care for that game that much, but I totally understand why it's on that list, and I have no problem with it being on that list.
Yep. Danganronpa.
Those are all good options. I don't really think Danganronpa, though.
I guess it's kind of in that same vein of Stardew Valley, where it's like it's kind of unique in its what it is, and they've been kind of critically acclaimed as well.
Okay.
Next up, we have Nier Automata, Fallout 4, Metal Gear Solid 5, Overwatch, and Persona 5.
I am also not shocked of any of those games being on that list.
No.
None,
So
especially
far,
Fallout
fucking
4,
great
because I'm
list.
a huge fan of Fallout 4.
Now, here's where it
Fantastic
gets
game.
interesting. The Witness, Resident Evil 7, Doom, Bloodborne, Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2? I mean, all those games, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'd say The Witness on that list is the number one, besides Last of Us.
Yeah.
I love The Witness. It's a brilliant game. If you like puzzle games, you must buy that game. Resident Evil, of course. Doom, of course. Titanfall 2, that seems odd to me.
Yeah. I mean, I guess people really liked the campaign of it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's also on sale for $6 right now if you have PlayStation Plus, so...
Yeah,
and then finally, the last two games, Rocket League and Batman Arkham Knight.
I never played the Batman games. Any of the is it Rocksteady?
You played any of the Batman games?
None of them, not one. And
Really?
I'm so bad at Rocket League that I hate it despite knowing it's a good game.
Yeah. You're not good at it. Dane's good at it, though, or at least he plays it a lot. Dane Deasy.
Yeah, I know. I've heard Dane's good at it.
Hitting them balls with his car full of balls. Ball car.
No, I'm like, I totally get people love that game. I am so atrociously bad at it. Like, at a certain point, I just started driving up on the walls around the stadium. Because I'm like, there's just no point in me playing this. My team's doing better without me. Yeah, that's a really good list. So
Yeah. What's missing?
What's missing? That's a big question.
I think
Hitman,
Ratchet and
that's
Clank.
missing.
Hitman? Okay, there could be argument there. Yeah, I think Ratchet and Clank's missing.
Ratchet and Clank is missing? Which you haven't played yet. Shut up. You can't.
No, but I mean, like, along the same things where you're like, I understand why Witcher is here. I understand why these are, like, Ratchet and Clank got fucking rave reviews.
I'm drawing a blank now. I wasn't expecting that question. You threw a curveball at me, Chad.
Oh, Holden. First of all, I just think it's really cool that this list exists. That PlayStation says, hey, because you can go to IGN, you can go to GameSpot, you can see, like, the 20 best PlayStation 4 games, and some of them are great, some of them are bullshit, but I just think it's cool that, like, this digital storefront is saying, hey, these are things you should pay attention to. And if you have a PS4, these are the first 22 things you should buy.
So here's my skepticism.
Okay.
I agree. I think that things that say, hey, here are the games that you should play because these stores are hard to navigate. Not hard to navigate, but they're hard to find everything on it. Good, absolutely. Who decides what games go on there? And I'll say my skepticism was hindered a little bit by hearing some of the games that are on there. Because my thoughts were, well, someone's going to put in games that they put money into, which I don't think is the only reason Horizon Zero Dawn is on that list.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a reason it's the number one on that list, because they want to be one of the first things you see. No, I'm not saying they're ranked. I'm saying it's the first one
the
you
first
see.
thing you see. Gotcha.
Yeah. I think that a company could easily say, hey, we want priority access in the store. Please put us on that list. But like you said, it's hard to find the list. And also, I don't think that Jonathan Blow, who makes The Witness, has a ton of money to bribe PlayStation to put a game on there. But I think also a lot of it's like based on relationships as well. Like taking Rocket League as an example, the creator of Rocket League did the podcast Beyond Podcast.
Yep.
For IGN for a while, and not that means there's corruption. Just means that he's known Shuhei Yoshida, and it's a really successful game, and so I think there's a relationship element to that as well. Not that that's bad. I'm not saying Rocket League doesn't deserve to be on there, but I think it's like, how do these games get chosen? I'm sure there are a lot of really good games that are on that list that we just mentioned, like Ratchet and Clank.
Sure.
Did Sunset Overdrive going to Xbox piss off Sony? So like, well, we're not going to feature your game anymore.
Well, now
not
that you
true,
say that,
because Spider-Man. But,
yeah, well, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But on this list, I do think that you're, coming from Sony, obviously they might have like some kind of bias towards their own games, things like that. It's kind of like when you mentioned when Nintendo Power, the podcast, started coming. I was like, oh yeah, but I don't want my Nintendo news from Nintendo.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to be propaganda for Nintendo.
Absolutely.
I just think it's cool that they have a stance on it.
No, absolutely. And I don't mind these things. I'm not saying that they shouldn't exist. They should exist, but you should be skeptical of them. Can I give an example, actually?
Yeah.
On the App Store recently, there was here are the best train games for iOS. And I'm like, oh, I bet Mini Metro's on here, because Mini Metro is the best train game I've played before on iOS. And I went on there. It wasn't even close. The night wasn't even on there at all. And I'm like, how could it not be on there? It's an amazing train game. They only had 3 games they featured. You couldn't add Mini Metro as well? There are
Have
other
you ever
good
played
games.
any of those 3 games?
No, that doesn't matter.
So you don't know if they're better. They might just be straight up fucking better than Mini Metro.
No, but they all seemed identical. They all seemed very, very similar. Whereas like Mini Metro was different than those other games, so why not highlight that one as well? You also only have 3 games. Why not add a 4th one to show off something else that's different and unique? So there's an element of it's advertisements in a way.
I'm sure that
they
sure
shouldn't
they're
exist.
advertisement partnerships.
But I do think like if you want to say like, hey, I want to find a curated list of games in these stores, there are a lot of journalists that go through and do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, here are the best games that came out this week. Here are the best, top 10 RPGs on PlayStation 4. Hell, we'll have episodes where we talk about what we think are the best games on platforms.
So, Holden, let's find a collection that we know who's making the choices. Under that same kind of area where it says, discover the must-haves, there are actually a lot of different categories you can choose. There's 20 best PS4 games, but there's also player's choice. So players themselves rating the games in the store.
How?
You can rate games in the store.
Have you gotten a survey from Sony?
No, you rate them in the store with a star rating.
Oh, okay. All right.
They have a similar lineup, but then some things kind of get halfway through. They get much different. Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, Uncharted 4, Bloodborne, Fallout 4, Metal Gear Solid 5, familiar. Destiny 1, Dragon Age Inquisition, Infamous Second Son, Far Cry 4, and Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, Killzone Shadowfall, Battlefield 4.
This is a very different list than I anticipated.
And Resogun. So that is...
I heard Resogun's really good.
I mean, yeah, it's really great. But yeah, that's kind of like mostly a different list. But I would say, based on what I've played of all it, like Infamous Second Son and Destiny 1 and Far Cry 4, like... I don't know if... And Killzone Shadowfall, who was just like basically the epitome of a launch game, like... I don't know if I would consider those the best games. So are we the best judge? Who knows? If you're interested in checking out more on this, there are a lot more options. They have like a giant list of curated challenging games. They have the top 10 PSVR games. They have cooperative games. They have only on PlayStation, games for PS4 Pro. So there are a lot of cool, they're story-driven games. A lot of cool little collections there if you're interested.
Yeah.
I just think it's cool that it exists, and I hope that it's something that I would love some transparency into how these games are chosen. But yeah, I think it's cool that PlayStation's doing it. I don't know if there's a feature similar to it on Nintendo or Xbox or Steam, but I would love to see this being more common and more prominent, honestly, in the store as well.
I would say Steam does for sure. I don't know about Xbox. I don't have an Xbox. Nintendo does not. And this is kind of a good point, too, is I think that there is an importance of these things because it is going to help. When you go to the store and you're like, I want to get a game, and you can go to something that says, here are action games, cool action games, I want to go to that. Doing that on the Switch is giant pain in the ass. The options are basically games that are on sale, new games in a list in order in which they came out, and the best sellers, which is one of the top 15 or 20 or something like that. And that's not enough. You need these curated playlists do serve a point.
Yeah.
And Nintendo Switch desperately needs them, I think. They need to overhaul their eShop store. There's a lot of stuff on there now.
Yeah.
And I think for Sony, tucking it away is not a good idea. Make it in the forefront. On the sidebar of the PlayStation 4 store, have it be featured games, curation. Even having curation, I think, based off of the player. Hey, you just bought Horizon Zero Dawn. You might want to try The Witcher.
Yeah. And
kind of finding games that are related to you as a player. I think they'd honestly get more sales that way, and people would find games that they like more.
I concur. Doctor.
You concur?
Oh, Holden, you have anything else to add for the Digital Storefront talk?
Just I think you're an amazing special person.
Oh, you shut your fucking mouth. That's unrelated, but I appreciate it. Oh, man, that's it. That's all the content we've got for this week, right?
Yeah, that's all we got.
Oh, my reminder. Next week, we are doing our BARF, Metro 2033. If you have shit that you want to contribute to our discussion, get it in before Saturday evening. And also, I don't know, what else do we want to talk? Oh, our E3, far-fetched, kind of general, vague predictions will be next week's topic as well.
The big picture predictions.
Big picture.
I predict...
Big ol' 100-megapixel pixel.
I predict that Sony's going to be at E3 this year. I think I'm right.
I predict that Xbox will not be at E3, but will be adjacent to E3, but still under the E3 umbrella. They've already announced that.
I'm going to question you on that one. I don't believe the news.
You're right. Who's curating the news?
Exactly.
Who's watching The Watchmen? I'm watching the download progress on God of War. Fucking A. Have a night, you guys.
Alrighty. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.